Hey, hello world. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to our sports roundtable. You join myself, Lionel, and my childhood friend Mark. We this is to me this is a great day. We just just finish off the final four of basketball. But hey, before we kick it off, at first I want to thank all the supporters on both YouTube, TikTok, Facebook that's following us. We got a bunch of new followers and a lot of new likes on the social media. And thank y'all. Keep supporting us. I appreciate it. All right,
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah,
Hey, man.
yeah. We
Yeah. So
appreciate everybody. Even though
yeah,
it's a tough day, we still appreciate
I
everybody.
think it's a great day. This is a great day. You know what I
Mm.
mean? This is April 6th. 11:25. We're kicking this off p.m. We're kicking this off after we've solidified who's going to be in the college basketball championship game.
We need you to rub it in, man.
I ain't rubbing it. I'm just telling the people. You know what I mean? What just happened? And we waited till all the games were completed. You know what I mean? So I think it's a joyous day that the Lord has made, and I'm glad to be here to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, me too, me too. But that basketball game could have went a little better. We didn't shoot, we didn't
50.
shoot like we should have. The first half was different than the second half. We barely made any threes and shot the ball like we're supposed to
Yeah.
in the second half. The
Uh-huh.
pick and roll just did us in. We couldn't stop the pick and roll action.
Pick and roll.
That they kept going on. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was tough. It was tough. Like I said, the first half was nothing like the second half. We should have been. It should have been a
It's two
different.
halves. For some reason, two halves in men's college basketball was full quarter for everybody else. But
Yeah,
but you got to play the game.
that's another story.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I you know, uh, um, UConn looked very dominant. They
Mm-hmm.
looked like the dogs in the fight, and then Alabama, they didn't look so dominant. They looked like the Chihuahuas in the fight. You know what I
No,
mean?
we don't say all that. Man. Slow up, slow up. We ain't gonna say all that.
You know what I mean? I'm just
No,
kind
you
of
saying
giving
too
you
much.
an idea of what happened.
That's a
Um,
wrong analogy. That's a wrong analogy. Now we
but
was
okay,
dogs. We just put our foot in our mouth. We wasn't
y'all
scoring
had
like we
one
should
dog.
have.
Y'all had one dog. Y'all had one dog, and hey, no,
No,
y'all had two dogs out there. Y'all had Sears and Nelson. That y'all two dogs. Everybody else, you know what I mean? They they
no,
they, they just came out. You know what I mean? They
no,
ain't.
no. Estrada played good. Played good. We had a good game. Now everybody did all right.
They
Pringle
did
did
all
all
right.
right on defense. We
Uh,
probably could have did a little better, but he did all right.
if you did all right on defense, they got more points than y'all.
I said he probably could have did a little better. I'm talking about that now as a unit, we could have did better.
Okay.
You feel me? But it's all right. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm proud of him. For making it to the final four. It was good that all the Auburn fans got to sit home on their couch
Yeah.
and watch us play, even though they didn't make it halfway near as far as we made it. I'm still ordering Yale shirts for me and the family.
Okay.
At this point in time.
I think that the shirts that y'all have pre-order has been you might get a cancellation email
No,
and
no,
that
no,
and
no.
it's no
I always
longer.
knew I always knew Yale was a good school academically, but I didn't know they knew how to play basketball too. You as we can see,
You
how
got
they
they,
get a job.
they got they're in advanced classes of math. You know what I mean? A lot of angle
Mm-hmm.
trajectories and all that type of stuff. So you know what I mean? They know how to play basketball. They know how to get the ball into the hoop. You know what I
So,
mean?
so, so you
Yeah.
saying scientifically
Like,
that's why they beat y'all. That's why they beat y'all.
I mean, it could be a number of different things.
Well,
You know what I mean? I can't just
it was
say,
one.
but it was
It
a
was,
number of different.
it was one thing. It was just one thing.
Referees had a little bit to do with it, but
No,
they somebody else beat us to giving us the bag first. I guess that's what happened. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But hey, I mean, we know a lot of people from that schools on Wall Street that can kind of, you know what I mean, move money in certain places that you don't supposed to move. They got experience of doing things like that. So I understand.
Yeah, yeah. Auburn had their spring game today. You hear their spring game today, and they
You know,
court.
man, I didn't catch it, man. I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
But right
look,
now it's too early for
look
that.
good.
We
Look
focus
good.
on ball, and some other news. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
didn't catch the spring game, so I'm gonna have to go back and evaluate. But I'm giving Hugh Freeze some time.
Oh,
No,
yeah, y'all look good, man. Y'all look good. Y'all had a number of 2-3 yard routes and rushing. you know, y'all quarterback. I guess he's going to be the starter. Yeah, he can throw it out. Now I'm telling you, he can throw a 5 yard out pretty good.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so,
you know, with you, to play what type of defense you run. Boy, that's a scary ass route right there.
mm, yeah. In middle school, yeah, yeah. I had a nice crowd out there.
I'm talking about that scary route to throw where, hey, the defense get an easy pick six on that. They
Yeah,
sitting right.
yeah, yeah. They sitting back on it. Yeah. Definitely, if you got a quarterback, that's all he throws is hitches
Yeah,
and
yeah,
comebacks. That's it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That
But
could be trouble.
man, I'm gonna get back to basketball, man. So yeah, NC State game and Purdue game. Did they
Mm-hmm.
kind of go how you thought it was gonna go?
Yeah, kind of. It did.
Yeah,
Big Edie, Zach Edie,
put him in foul
down low.
trouble. That's
Yeah,
a, they put him in foul trouble early.
yeah. They did. Big Burns, DJ Burns. Yeah, he got in foul trouble a little early.
Yeah,
So yeah, they had to keep switching, putting people on him.
yeah, yeah,
On Big Edie,
yeah,
they had people out there just to foul him,
yep,
basically just to eat up fouls. So
yeah.
Big Burns when
And they
when
had
we
a
found his fouls.
dedicated plan for him.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That
As
was
you see, when you get down to this level, I mean, if you don't have a big man on the goal like that, as you see, you could have had a 7'2" guy. I don't know how tall Edie is, Zach Edie, but I'm pretty sure he
oh
about 7'2" or higher.
yeah,
Yeah, so you definitely have to have that big man in the
yeah,
post at this point in time.
yeah.
So
That
it went how I expected it to go. It was a
yeah.
good game though.
It
It
was a
was a
good
good
game.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
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 pulled
they
away.
supposed to do. They let him dictate the game and slow the game down. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? And so you can tell they targeted him specifically. They
Hmm.
targeted him. So um
Yeah.
I mean, then one thing that all the little rumblings like, man, shoot, if basketball don't work out for him, let's see if we can get him on a football field. But he made an official statement that stating that he has no interest in going to the NFL draft.
Z. He said Z.
Zero interest. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's crazy though, but it sounds like
but
NFL has interest in him.
yeah, that's what it is. But
Hmm.
man, NFL, it's more. I think it's more cutthroat than the NBA. That's one piece. Second piece, you're gonna make more money NBA than football.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know, like to be honest, you gotta look at it. It's not many. It's a lot of people in NBA that's been in there for 10, 12 years, just sitting on the bench.
I mean, you're right. It
You can
is
still
more.
a lot longer in the NBA than you can in the NFL team,
Yeah,
and,
it's more
and
cutthroat.
guaranteed over the NBA.
Yeah, it's definitely more cutthroat of a sport. It's more you can get hurt a lot more in football than basketball, as we all know. And it is a bigger bag in the NBA.
They praise you faster too.
Hmm.
They get off of you real quick.
Right, right. So
It's a reason. You really think about it. It's a reason why they got that. Um, what's the Hard Knocks? The show, the training camp, and all that type of stuff. What other professional sports got that? NBA ain't got it. You just know they ain't training camp. You know what I mean? but they ain't got no like camp to show that. They doing that because they know people gonna lose their jobs. They start off with a 90-man roster, bust it back down to a 53-man roster. They know a lot of people getting cut. You know, and you are. I mean, them dudes in there, they going off site to another location, away from their family for a good while. You know what I mean? So it's you ain't see no other sport do that.
Well,
That's how you know. Yeah, that's how you know it's cut though.
well, football is one of the most watched,
Yeah,
probably the most watched sports of
yeah,
all.
yeah,
And so we know how what goes into being a football player.
yeah,
It's a little more of a difficult pathway to getting into that league, and you have to
yeah,
go through a lot of strenuous things like a training camp.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's definitely why it's watched and it's recorded at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
You
So I mean that's yeah, man. And you know, while we on men's basketball, before we get off of it, you got so you know Bronny James, LeBron James' son, declared for he did two things. He put himself in the transfer portal, and then also declared for the draft, but still maintain his eligibility if he don't get drafted.
at
Um,
the same time.
yeah. So I mean, what's your feelings on this, and how you think that's gonna play out?
I mean, to each his own. I mean, if he feels he can make it, most players usually know their draft ability by before they even do something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's talking to whoever he needs
That's
to
gonna
talk
be
to.
drafted, or you think he'll go
Who
undrafted?
knows? Who knows? That's what I'm saying. So he knows something. They're telling him something as far as being drafted or free agency to come into the league, because I don't think he would just throw his name out there blindly like that. With who he is and what he has behind him. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they've sat down and talked about this to see.
So, so do you think he ready for the NBA with like based upon his freshman numbers? We were only averaging like three, 4 points a game.
I haven't seen anything to say that he's ready to make that jump like that. You
Yeah,
know, I don't know. I don't see that he's such an explosive player to go to that next level. I mean, he is a good player, no
yeah,
doubt about it.
yeah. I mean, I looked at it. Remember, do you remember? I think one of our first couple of episodes when I asked, "Do you believe that college basketball prepare a player for the NBA?"
Right.
Um, I mean, I think it's it. Man, I'm trying to like really, really say like I, I'm really like upset and trying to figure out. I don't understand the reason behind two halves instead of 4 quarters. You play 4 quarters in youth basketball. You play 4 quarters in doggone high school. You play 4 quarters. You skip 4 quarters in college, and then you go back playing 4 quarters in the NBA. You go overseas play basketball. It's 4 quarters. So like the way you score your points, the way you move, you know what I mean? Like all the little smaller stuff that I can kind of lay off right here, like the sub and all that. It's completely different from two halves to 4 quarters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
I mean, it might be you might run more, with in college. You see what I'm saying? Than you do in NBA, because the NBA takes those quarter breaks, and you're usually going,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you usually repeatedly going in college. So I
yeah,
don't know. It could be. It could
yeah,
be better, a little more of a break,
yeah.
going
Like
to the next level.
what made me start thinking about it. It was like I think last year. I think I was watching something. It was like an interview with Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony was the first player ever to sign under the Jordan brand. When he came out of Syracuse, went to the NBA, and
Hmm.
and he was on the interview. He said, after that first summer, he spent like, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks living with MJ and training with MJ every day. There was that summer right after his rookie year, and he said MJ asked him like, man, what you trying to average a game? He said, man, I'm trying to at least, like right now, I need at least over 25. You know what I mean? He said, I need at least over 25 to 30. I need to average that. He said, so how you scoring your points? He said, because the way I'm looking at it, like you trying to get all your points at one time. He said, if you got 21 points, you need to score at least 7 points every quarter. I mean, at least the first 3 quarters, and then that fourth quarter, you might have to play more defense or whatever. And that's why I got that fourth quarter, because those, like, I think Kobe Bryant said the same thing. I forgot who it was he was training with. I think it was like Trace McGrady or somebody that training with Kobe. And they would, like, if they know they want to average it, they was breaking it down by quarters. You know what I mean? And they can scale themselves. So that's the reason my mind said, like, so why is the college basketball 2 halves?
Yeah, who knows
It's a really different training mentality of 4 quarters. Like, think about, like, I mean, it's kind of hard to match these two, but say if college football go instead of 4 quarters, they go 2 halves. The way you play the game gonna be different. The way you run the ball gonna be different. The way you trying to milk the clock gonna be different than you run it 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it would be definitely with football, because football is a totally different machine.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I don't want to compare, but just kind of like, you know what I mean, make an example like how I think college basketball not necessarily really preparing. It just really highlights somebody's skill set, but not their natural skill set, not really preparing for it.
I mean, the trajectory of anything would change, based
Yeah,
on timing
yeah,
and all that at the same time. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You would just have to break down a half, in a different type of way,
yeah, yeah,
than you would do a quarter.
yeah,
So they like you said, they would just probably score more at the top of the half, or break it down like that. Score at least 4 or 5 at the top of the half, and try to
yeah,
get more on the back end of the half. By the end of
yeah,
the half. I don't know. We have to talk to a college coach, to see if it's different. How they would break it up as far as
yeah,
that, as far as how the gaming process the planning of the process would go.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So I say this, like, if you was ask me, what do I think he gonna go in the NBA draft, Bronny James? I think he'll go undrafted and get picked up by the Lakers.
And that could be their whole plan at the end of the day, because LeBron doesn't want to play too much longer. They interviewed him the other day after the game, and he was saying his clock is ticking. He know he don't have long. He said,
Yeah,
I don't have much longer.
yeah,
That's what he said. So he knows that's what's going on, and he's always stated he wanted to play in the NBA with his son. So
yeah, yeah,
that it sounds like it's all coming together for them finally. They're
yeah.
playing.
I mean, nobody knows your own body like yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know what I mean. From an athlete, you look at most people. So I use Jason Kelsey as an example. You hear people saying, man, come on back one more year. Come on back. You still got it. You still got it. But you don't know what this man going through in the off season. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Aaron can move out the bed. Like, people don't even think about that. They think about the fan piece. So you look at him, like, he do load manage a lot of his games now. He played those key games that he need to play, whatever, to kind of hopefully get to that playoff, then make it where he know he's gonna have to, especially if you go past what his 4 games is every other day, whatever. So I mean, but he probably know his own body too, and he train his body like continuously. But he look like, man, hey, I don't feel as happy as, you know what I mean, as like this little, you know what I mean, just little stuff linking around, you know what I mean. I'm aching a lot more. So I mean, but we don't see you. We won't see it because we're gonna push that. We both athletes. We're gonna push through injuries. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some years you like, hey man, I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna push through it.
Yeah, yeah, and LeBron does that. I mean, you see him pushing through. You even
Yeah,
sometimes, me and somebody else was just talking the other day. Even sometimes when LeBron is not even playing in the game, he's on
yeah,
the side. He's on the bench in street clothes, but he has ice packs on his knees.
yeah, yeah,
You,
yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So his body's going through a lot right now.
yeah.
Granted, he can still put in 40 minutes and score 40
Yeah.
points at the same time. That's great. You don't see people doing that for real, but it comes with a lot. It's a lot on his body. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if his son gets in, even if it's just for 1 year, 1, 2 years, he,
I
he'll.
think if he go to get on picked up on the team, ain't gonna be nothing for no 1 or 2 years. Because you gotta think about it. It's people right now that just sit on the bench that, hey, unless it's a blowout, they might not see the court. So you know what I mean? Like if he make it to an NBA roster, ain't like NFL where it's more cutthroat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
but I just don't see
it
where
would be.
LeBron sitting on the bench. LeBron's not going to
Oh,
sit on the
no, no,
bench.
no. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, he
that's
done.
why I'm kind of saying, like, it won't even be 2 years. I mean, you got players right now in the NBA that, shoot, they injured like every year, half the season, they still on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me
Yeah,
the
that's
NFL.
good.
Now, tell me the NFL gonna do that.
No, you got to go. No doubt about it. You out of there. Yeah, that's why I say LeBron
They
definitely
both,
not going to sit on the
they
bench.
both pages, you know what I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
both pages because the rotations, you know what I mean? You got your, you probably got your strong, you got the starting five with a good strong three that you're gonna be subbing in and out, maybe four. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really gonna be 8 people that's really rotating on a day in and day out basis. Everybody else, practice squad.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, LeBron probably.
Yeah,
He just wants his son, to be able to say him and his son played in the league together. He's always stated that,
yeah,
even
yeah,
if it's just for 1 year. So I think
yeah,
even if it is for 1 year, that'll solidify their goal
yeah,
and as to what they were trying to achieve. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
big ups to them. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Like I said, I don't know where he'll go or what he'll do, what
yeah.
team he'll play for, but it's a reason why he's going to the league right now after 1 year.
So let me ask you this: what if the NBA don't pan out? Who you think will pick him up based upon his stats right now?
What you mean as a college team?
Yeah, because he's in a transfer report.
Any team will pick him up. Because, like I said, I think he's still a great player at the end of the day. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for him
Yeah, I got.
at this point in time. He can go anywhere. But the thing, he's going
Who,
to have to go. He's going to
who
have to
you
go somewhere though.
who you think will reach him? That's what I'm saying.
I
If you
think
had to guess,
anybody wins that. I think Kentucky, Alabama, UConn. I think any of these teams will reach out. UCLA.
I don't think. I say this. I
He's
don't think.
already out there.
I don't think Alabama reach out. I'm gonna tell you
Well, I
why.
mean, I'm just saying anybody.
I
Anybody.
think he's too small.
No, he's not too not to play at
He's
Alabama. He,
he's 3 though,
but
and
he can play
y'all got
anywhere.
some taller dudes, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Like y'all got some height.
Yeah, but at the same time we got some ones and some twos who
Yeah,
6'3". So
yeah. And they
he
make
can play.
so I don't know, man.
He can play anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what
But
team will pick him up. Like
he's
what?
gonna have to go somewhere.
Yeah, what
He's
team will
gonna have
like?
to go somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Because when you go in that transfer portal, you basically lose your scholarship for the school you at. You know,
but
I'm pretty sure USC would.
he's on multiple NIL contracts too, so the payment ain't gonna be a problem.
No, no. I mean, he probably could know it. Him knowing who he is and his stature, he probably could go back to USC. Right, like you say,
I, I
he
say I say this.
he don't need a scholarship.
In my opinion, I think a little bit of part of it is He's not the biggest name on the campus at
Yeah, we
USC.
know that. We know that right now. You know what I'm saying? He might be the second biggest name on the campus, but he sure ain't the first.
They start with the first, that out of Juju. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
man.
man. We'll,
They
we'll switch.
doing good.
We'll switch over to the women's, man. The women's Final Four. Let me ask you, man. All right, so
They
did it?
balling.
Oh, South Carolina ball. But
They
that's
balling.
so I told you, they bench is too deep. They bench is too deep. They
Yeah.
they're basically top 10 players can leave and go to another college and they'll start.
Mm-hmm. Hands down. Hands
They're
down.
top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And and the one thing about South Carolina, man, they very balanced. They're very balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if they shot, if they not hitting their threes, they're gonna dish it down low. They got size to handle it down low. You know what I mean? If they need to dish it back out, they beat you off the step. I mean, they beat you off the dribble, bro. There's too many ways, and they play defense. Like they
Mm-hmm.
real scrap at the defense, and I mean, they doing a lot of stopping a lot of those cuts.
They know their team.
They
They
steal the
live
ball.
not the defense. They
Yeah,
live about the defense.
they
That's
steal the
one thing
ball.
I love about them.
So this
Yeah, but
past
Iowa.
I said this past game when it was like it was like real close at halftime. Then they came out that third quarter. They looked
Mm-hmm.
like how some years ago when Golden State was rolling, beating breaks off everybody, and they'll have kind of a slow first half. What they came out of third quarter did. They pulled away by 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they was doing. They did last night, man. Like third quarter was a different team.
You know, they regrouped. They went that half and regrouped definitely.
Yeah,
They came out. They came out on fire.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they look good. They look good, man. So, and I think they'll be too much for Iowa. Definitely. Like I told you the other night, I thought Iowa would pull it off.
yeah,
I thought,
UConn played Iowa like great.
yeah, they did. I told you they'll pull it off too. If
Yeah.
what did I told you? If those other players played good, that's exactly what I told you. That Iowa will win if they pulled it off. And Caitlin Clark didn't even have a night like she normally had. Who had the nights? Her center
So
down low.
what about that call, man? At the end of the game,
I mean, it was a crazy call. You know, I don't think you should. That was a call to call with 3 seconds left.
man, that call, bro. He blew the whistle as it was happening.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
so quick on it. Like, come on, man. With that,
yeah. I mean, and the thing about it,
it wasn't egregious. That's the first thing. It wasn't egregious, and you let a lot more stuff go in that whole game.
they did. They did.
So I can only imagine what that ref been dealing with.
Yeah. he could. He could have not caught it, or he could have caught it. I mean, it was a moving.
Yeah,
He,
yeah, 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 yeah.
so I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't think that's a call you make
Nah,
with three
that,
seconds
that,
left on the line.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That was bad. That was bad. That was
yeah,
real bad.
but if he didn't make that call, no doubt about it, the game would have been different. The outcome would have been different. Because I definitely believe UConn was about to score.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. So, but now you go to that boy. That's gonna be a help, boy. It's at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
I can only imagine the viewers of that tournament
It's gonna be a great
and
game.
the championship
Mm-hmm.
game. Boy, you know what? I can't wait till the numbers come because I want to see the comparison of the Final Four men's numbers and the Final Four women's numbers.
I mean, they're gonna be up there. They definitely gonna be up there.
Yeah,
And
but I know the women gonna be. It gonna be. I think it's gonna be millions and millions above the men's.
for the men,
No, yeah, I'm talking about for the women. It's gonna be I think gonna be millions more views for watching the women's Final Four compared to the men's Final Four.
And you know what? And I can kind of agree with that because you know what?
What?
The men is you have UConn and Purdue. That's the championship. Why you laugh? Why? But that's my point. That's my point exactly. The same reason you laughing is my point, and I ain't even say it. That's, but it's gonna be a good game. You know, UConn is good, a good team, and Purdue is a good team. But
Yeah.
the names are in the women's. The names are in the women.
UConn with basketball. Okay. Purdue. I just thought they was an academic school, man. I mean,
Yeah. But like I said, it's the names though with the women. You know, you got Iowa, you got Caitlin Clark versus, I mean, South Carolina. I mean, it's a million names on South Carolina team from Cardoza to Malaysia for a while to Dawn Staley. You know, everybody just they're going to gravitate toward this game, the women's game. Well, then it's like it's Caitlin's last game, so come on, who in the world not going to be watching this game?
yeah. So I'm gonna
Did
say,
you
did you hear
did you
about?
see?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you see the stars were out for the UConn and Iowa game? How many stars did they show tonight? And I mean, they could have been in the building.
The only stars was once they walk out the ring, they look up in the night sky. That's what the stars. That was that was it.
Like I said, they
Saber.
right. That's what I said. They probably were there. They could have been there, but how many of them did they show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow. I think tomorrow numbers definitely watched.
Well,
Their ratings are going to be high. Very high.
yeah. Hey man, so it was it was a survey. Did you hear about that survey they did? Anonymous survey they did with all the Sweet 16 teams for women's basketball. They might have did for men, but they haven't disclosed or talked about it. But they have talked about the women's. And this survey was they picked random players from different teams, asking out of all the teams all the coaches that's in the Sweet 16, who's your top that you play for, and who's your worst? And the
Mm-hmm.
top number one by a landslide was Dawn Staley. Everybody said, "Yeah, I play for Dawn Staley, no doubt about it." The reverse of it was Kim Mulkey from LSU. That she was the worst. She was the very last. Anybody would want to play for. So yeah, that I wonder what's now these stories started to come out, but they ain't really coming out. But because I vaguely remember like it was something going on with Baylor when she in transition to LSU. When she got the job at LSU, it was like stuff going on how she was treating the players. But I think I vaguely remembered like kind of hitting the news, but at that time I really wasn't watching that much women's basketball. So and college women's basketball to even really pay much of attention to it. But I mean, it's I say this: if she I don't I like coaching. You know, we all had coaches that was very hard that you hated, but they knew that hey, I know how to win. You know what I mean? I know how to get you in the right place. Everybody coaching style is different. Everybody delivery is different. You know what I mean? Saban, he's hard on his freaking players. You know what I mean? He come out hard on them. But what comes out? What comes from it? But if you go to doggone another school that everybody's you know what I mean, coaches ain't really hard on, kind of let you do what you want to do, don't really fuss at you. Yeah, it's a reason you ain't won no ring, man. It's a reason you ain't, you know what I mean. So she's winning rings. So something's been right. I think it's just more people think they supposed to be babyfied. Maybe that's probably why. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember it was something that was going. but I don't think it was major. Though.
Yeah,
At that time,
get blown up because people really weren't paying attention to like
yeah,
basketball
yeah,
at that time.
yeah, and I was though, and I kind of I was watching Brittany Griner. I remember watching her
Yeah,
all her college years, and that's how I knew Kim Mulkey. From watching Baylor games and watching them ball out. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Which they had a great team. You know what I'm saying? And she had great teams over there. Kim Mulkey had great teams over
yeah,
there. I don't know if it was something of an incident being so major at that point, or what I'm saying. I think more at the end of the day, I think it was more so that LSU had the bag, and they brought her over and they seen what she was doing with great players.
yeah,
Now they did, like you said, some of the stories that were coming out. They did, she as far as like her trying to tell Brittany Griner to tone it down a little bit as to the
yeah,
sexuality around campus and all that.
yeah, yeah.
But and who to say how that conversation really went for real? Because
Yeah, we went
she
through.
right. She could have been, I don't know, but she could have been saying it motherly or what have you. But
Yeah,
I think they said a lot of the excerpts from it are in the book that Brittany Griner wrote.
yeah.
So
But so let's go back to this survey. Do you think she got rated last because of her coaching style? Like, you know what I mean? You know she's in the building, not just by her loud suits that she be wearing, but you know what I mean? She very, very vocal. But then you look at somebody
mhm.
like Dawn Staley, she's more interaction. You know what I mean? Like she know how to get across to each player, but not as you know what I mean, as loud as you know what I mean. So what do you think it probably is, that survey, why a lot of these I think the generation is different, but what you think?
uh, Kim Mulkey, she comes off as a kind of an old school type of coach to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
I mean, but that doesn't necessarily that doesn't mean bad when I say that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
some people might just run away from that. Just like some people run away from tough coaching.
yep,
So
yep,
it could be that at the end of the day.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, those players are in that basketball world, so they probably hearing stories and know what's going
know a little
on.
bit more. Yeah,
Yeah, so they definitely would be the ones to speak more on that subject. So I'm
yeah,
pretty sure they picked that for a reason.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
love to read that the
yeah.
whole survey. What came
I
out
want
of
to know what's on the survey, like what
the
type, how the question was formatted. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely to see because out of the whole tournament, the Sweet
Well,
16
it was
team.
at the Sweet 16, so 16 teams, the last 16 teams.
Yeah, and
I,
Kim Walker got the worst one out of the 16 teams. That's kind of tough
yeah,
too. I
yeah,
don't. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Not surprised by Dunn though. You know
Right?
what I
No,
mean? Yeah,
not at all.
I
Can't
still
do it.
that right there. I remember watching. You know what I mean when she
Mhm.
was on the Olympic team. I remember that team. I remember how I was. Now I was really watching. I was watching like the Olympics and the women's basketball team at that
Mhm.
time. They were really really pushing it out there during that time frame too, especially with the Olympics in Atlanta. So yeah, I remember that, and she was a dog. She was a dog. Um, but yeah, man, that's cool, bro. What
Yeah,
I had on here, man,
she's
like
definitely Dunn has definitely been a major reason why the women's sports, college women's basketball has grown.
because
And I think that's hands down. I think a lot of people know that.
growing up, I remember growing up, you only really used to hear about Pat Sutherland
Mm-hmm.
at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And being from I don't know if you remember this, man, but being down in Alabama, man, growing up, I remember on TV, like no I remember growing up, Pat Sullivan was always on TV in Tennessee. It was you see her basketball game before we even seen Auburn girls basketball or Alabama girls basketball, but you seen Tennessee. They really put
It has been
and I remember
has been all over on the TV since
yeah,
we've been.
yeah. And I remember baseball, it was always, for some reason, we always used to get the Chicago White Sox or that was
Mm-hmm.
always on TV.
Frank Thomas.
they used to play in the daytime. They used to play like 2 or 3 o'clock in the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them on TV. Basketball, what was it? It was Bulls, obviously.
Jordan,
What
no
else they
doubt
used to
about
put on it? Like, I can't even remember them really. To be honest with you, I don't even remember too much outside of football. I don't remember seeing too much of Alabama or Auburn other sports on TV.
Well, you know, a lot of those
Once
channels.
upon a time on those channels, but it was limited channels too at that time.
Yeah, right. And you know, like I said, you know, a lot of the games are regional, so
Yeah,
a lot of certain games come on certain regions. So definitely back
yeah,
then when you only had 3, 4 channels
yeah.
to watch
Oh,
it on, so
that's what it was. White Sox and the Braves.
always right. The
Yeah,
Braves
White
always
Sox
been
and
on
the
TV,
Braves. And
always been
because
on.
I think the Braves, I think not the Braves, but the White Sox. I don't know if they stadium has it now, but yeah, they got to. 'Cause they play at nighttime. But at one point in time, I think from our high school years and back, that stadium they played at didn't have lights, so they could only play in the daytime.
I'm sure they had lights, man.
No. I'm dead serious. They didn't get lights. I think it was like 2000 or something like 2000.
The Chicago White Sox.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure they
that's
had
why they
lights.
used to. No, that's why they used to play like literally in the middle of the day, like on a normal, like come home from school on like a Wednesday. Turn like why is the White Sox playing at 2 o'clock? You know what I mean? 3 o'clock.
Man, I'm
That
sure them folks had lights. I'm sure
no,
them folks had lights.
they didn't have lights at that time, man. Dead serious. They didn't have lights. They anytime they played at nighttime, it was away. If they had a home game, it was because I think it was something dealing with the area. They was like in the middle of a neighborhood too.
Yep, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
They didn't have lights, man. So, but yeah, man. Also, man, you got your players that's been going declaring to the WNBA.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how heavily you follow the WNBA, but like the draft coming up real soon. That's why some of these players they're still in the term. They got to declare because I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like in 2 weeks or whatever. I think
Yeah,
it's
April 15th.
yeah next week. Yeah, yeah, and that's real. That's kind of interesting why it's so close to the. You know what I mean? The term don't even give them time to even. Like most times you gonna people are training. They gotta do little pro. Even basketball, they doing little kind of like pro days, visit, train. You get invited to different organizations to do. You know what I mean? Show what you got. Ain't none of that time frame. If somebody's playing right now, they ain't gonna be able to do that before the draft.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and it's not
But you
necessarily
still
even a
about
bad
that.
thing.
You know you're in shape though. That's one
Right.
thing.
That's what I say. It's not necessarily even a bad thing because you watch this person all year long. You just watch them in the tournament. You know who you want. If I'm a general manager, I see what they did. I know who I want. So let's sign them.
Yeah, they ain't like football. Hey, I know you
Yeah.
played 3, 4 years of football and you got 2 rings, but I still need you to come to my pro. You still need to do
Yeah.
a pro.
Right. What did we just say about the Texas receiver
Yeah,
when Miami he broke the actual record at the NFL Combine and went
yeah.
to Miami and Miami Dolphins wanted him to run the 40. It's like what? Why? What are we doing here, man? Like these folks just be wasting time, man.
Yeah. So it's speculations that the reason I brought up the WNBA draft is speculation that the best fit for Angel Reese is LA. The same purple and gold, but LA because the way her personality fit better in the LA market.
But LA has they already. I mean, I don't know, but they already have like a big woman, a
But she
big.
won't be she won't be playing center. She's not tall enough to play center there. She'll be like a forward. She's
I
not
guess
tall enough.
I
Yeah,
guess that could be.
she's not
Yeah,
tall enough.
I seen she was projected was 7 or 8 to go seven
Yeah,
or eight, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
We shall see.
Do you think that? Well, they probably with this NIL money, they probably don't even care. But you know that women's basketball, you have to stay in school 4 years
Yeah,
unless
but
you go overseas. You have to stay in college 4 years before you go pro. They don't have an early out like the men's sports.
in women's,
Yep, you got to do 4 years.
no,
That's why.
I thought you go early.
No, you go overseas. You go overseas, and then you
Well,
come up.
well,
That's the
you can
right.
go early. You
Yeah,
mean for the WNBA? That's a WNBA
yeah,
rule.
the WNBA rule. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. So, do you think that'll change?
yeah. Because if that's the case, if
That
that
will
is
happen.
if that's the
I
case,
think,
you losing players.
yeah, but I say for them to do that, players gonna have to get paid a lot more money.
But that's coming.
That's coming. No,
They're in the talks right now.
yeah,
They're in the talks right now with the TV contract. So once they sign the dotted line with these TV contracts, man, everybody's salary goes up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the only way they can make that change.
Yeah, man, money talks.
Oh, you can make the change, but your salary still. Nah, I make more money NIL money. Um,
Yeah.
I I just want to kind of run that by you, man. See what you think about the Angel Reese piece. Like, I haven't looked at really the tiered of who's picking what in the WNBA draft, but I I think it's more manipulation to get people in a different situation than like, oh, y'all can have her because I think she felt better suited here. You know what I mean? I don't think it's as aggressive like the NBA or NFL especially.
Mm. I don't know how owners are looking at her. I mean, I know they want her, and they know
Yeah, yeah,
she's major in the league right now. You know, she'll be a key piece to a lot of organizations.
yeah,
Um, we just have to see.
yeah, yeah. Um, hey man, so I'm gonna switch gears to football.
Segue.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching this the pivot with Ryan Clark, you know what I mean, Fred Taylor, or whatever. I be watching their podcast, and they had LaDainian Thomason on their last podcast. And you know LaDainian Thomason was a pure dog. And it was a part in there where um how did it get verbalized? It was like how NIL money could affected him at that piece. Like, so if you remember, like he had his sophomore, no, that's not what it was. It was his junior year that he could have came out. He had 1,800 yards, and he came back. He said, "I only came back because the projection that he was getting projected at fourth round because they was running like a lot of the option, and he was always hitting the edge, and they didn't think he can catch." All right, so then the conversation kind of switched over, basically saying like, I think this NIL money is going to prevent. It's going to kind of slow down the gap of talent that's coming to the NFL right away because brought up Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Senior told LT that, hey, I consider coming back to Ohio State because I was offered $25 million to stay for one more year. That $25 million is a 4-year rookie contract, and he's going to make that in 1 year.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen.
So he's going to the draft, but I know he probably thought real hard about it because you're going to make a rookie contract in 1 year just to play one more year in football. You know what I mean? College. So I think not just with basketball, I think this thing is really going to affect football even more where people are not gonna come out no 2 years.
But it's a win for colleges. It's a win for colleges at the end of the day.
And for
Because even at one point in time in the 80s and 90s, during college football and everything, you remember they were complaining about kids leaving, coming out their junior year. What, he coming out his junior year? He's supposed to stay in school and do this and all that. Everybody knows why they come out early. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's for the
yeah,
bag to get
yeah,
to the league, take care of your parents. So
yeah.
like now that there's no rush to go to the league, to run to the league, to do that, because now you can make the bag in college and still take care of your family and get a college degree, at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a win for colleges because just like you just said, 25, what we were saying earlier, somebody giving you 25, what they making.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So my point is, it's a win for the college.
From 25 million, like I don't know how that. I don't know the breakdown how that NIL money get funneled through the players, but you offer him 25. Boy, I know that was a hard decision.
I don't know how you turn it down. You turn that down to go to the
Yeah, I
league.
come back for one more year, man. You know what I mean?
So,
Yeah. Okay, what you better make as a wide receiver, I mean, he gonna be in top 5. That 20, he probably gonna get about 4.5, 5 million a year. No. It probably
no, it's
between
more.
3 to 5 million and a roster bonus and whatever, you know what I mean, signing bonus.
So that's probably why it's probably going to be a little bit more than the 25 that he's getting in college. A
Well,
little
he
bit more. It might
having
not be. It might
yeah,
not be major because in the NFL you have incentive
yeah, yeah,
on top of your deals and everything. So
yeah.
so it's probably going to be a little bit more because, like you said, he's going to be a top 5. If you go top 5, you making the best.
It's still gonna, but his position, I think it'll be like three between 3 to 5 million a year. But you making 25 one year just to come back for 1 year.
Right.
Yeah, boy, that's tough. You know what I mean? But I think the big problem is, hey, there's nothing else left. There's nothing else left. Hey, I don't want to get injured. Hey, I'd rather get injured. Maybe that's what it is. But damn, yeah,
That too. On top of it,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't want to go no injury in college, and he got knocked out of the big game.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
He took that
So
major lick, so
yeah, yeah,
he probably just saying, he don't want to take no more licks like that on this
yeah,
level. I mean, which they coming on the nigga level too. Them licks coming on that level too, so
yeah. Well,
might as well go to the league.
hey man. So my question to you is: the Buffalo Bills in rebuilding mode?
Yeah, they rebuilding something. They got to be. They got to be. Because like I said, you can get a wide receiver in the draft, but what's their draft pick?
I don't even. It ain't top
It
because
ain't
they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom of the first round.
mm,
But I say this draft is flooded with wide receivers. Not no Stephon Diggs. You own a couple of them. You know what I mean? But
right,
yeah,
right, exactly. I mean, you're not gonna pick up a Stephon Diggs. They got a 28. I mean, they can get a good wide receiver in the first round with a
yeah.
28 pick. Then they got it. The 60 in the second round. Pick
So
60 in the second round. So
what do you think? What do you think they're gonna be like? That's next 2 years between next 1 and 2 years. What do you think finna happen at Buffalo? I got my mind. But I want to ask you see what you think first.
man, with the same offensive play calling that they got, Josh Allen. Like I was saying the other day, Josh Allen has been 85% of their offense already. You know what I'm saying? And which is, I can remember instances where I can see Stephon Diggs getting mad because they're not getting him the ball. I mean, in actuality, that's probably not Josh's fault. Why they wasn't getting him the ball. It could have been blocking. It could have been scheme at the same time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been scheme because I seen it here. I remember seeing him on the sideline going off on the coaches. So if that's what they saying caused the ref, the rift in between both of them, then it is what it is. So they're definitely rebuilding, getting younger
So
wide receivers or tight ends, someone who would just run the routes. You know what I'm saying, without any complaints. And you releasing a bag like that, like I
yeah.
said, that's going to give you. You can pick up a top wide receiver in free agency or in the draft at the same time. So they're definitely in a rebuilding process as far as the offense goes. So I still see them going deep in the playoffs, in their conference run, AFC conference run. They gonna still give y'all problems,
So
no doubt about it.
I'm
So
being
I bet you, I see them. They'll still make the playoffs.
okay. So let me ask you something. All right. First, I say this before I tell you this. So I think this is the head coach last year.
I don't think so.
I truly think this is last year. I think
Why?
they I think they're gonna get him out of there, bro. Because the big reason is, they let go a lot of people this year. I mean, I think it was like 6 or 7 defensive players they let go. They let go Gabe, the other wide receiver, then Stephon Diggs. Bro, they let go a lot of people. They like kind of clean the house. That's why I asked this question on this episode is for, do you think they're in rebuilding mode without saying that? I think they're in rebuilding mode. And I think the coach is in the hot seat because you you've been so close with a good team. I mean, we might as well go cheap and start over. And we still, I don't think they believe in him. That's just me personally. The second piece is, and I'm almost gonna stump you with this one. Would you pay? I already know the answer. Would you pay Mr. Prescott $60 million?
I
You
wouldn't pay
would.
him $30. Like you said, you already knew the answer to that.
So
Nothing.
outside of rushing yards, Zach Prescott and Josh Allen stats are almost the same. All right. Let me read this
What?
off. Yeah. I'm gonna read
Outside
this
of outside of rushing yard.
off. Because he scrambles, he get, you know what I mean? Josh Allen does. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. But their passing statistics is almost about the same. All right. So I'm gonna play this.
Those are
I'm,
skewed numbers. Those
oh,
are
oh,
skewed
oh,
numbers.
let me read this. Let me read this. Because you know how the NFL manipulate the structure of contracts. So in 2021, well, hold on. Yeah. In 2021, he restructured his 6-year contract. And it started off in 2021, 10.2 million, 2022, 16.3 million, 2023, 18.6 million. It said this year is skyrocketing to 47 million, and next year it's jumping up to 56 million.
These are Josh
Oh,
Allen
yes.
numbers.
Okay, yeah, Josh Allen number. So,
Pay the man.
all right, so you won't pay Zach Prescott that, but you'll pay somebody that got similar numbers and has no accolades at all to Josh Allen.
But I see this man's work, what he's done on the field.
What
I
has he
see
done?
where I see where he's led his team to AFC championships and
Lost.
deep in playoff runs. He has, but at the same time, it hasn't been him. He
So,
hasn't lost the game.
so
And
I,
now he just got down there. He just scored the touchdown that they needed to win, and he had to sit on the sideline and watch the defense not pull it off. So it's not necessarily him. And Dak Prescott numbers come when they down 34-10 to Green Bay, and he got to sit there and throw the ball for the rest of the game.
so
And now he has 350 yards that he gained in the fourth quarter and 2 touchdowns. Those are skewed numbers, man.
Okay, so let me say this. Josh Allen and Mr. Prescott both have 0 MVPs, 0 Offensive Player of the Year, 0 Super Bowls, 0 Super Bowl MVPs,
Accolades, prestigious.
and their numbers are similar.
Yeah. Just watch it. I know their body of work. I know their body of work.
Okay, both of them. All right. So let me say this. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I brought this up. I think you know how we were talking about Green Bay, how they got between Aaron Rodgers from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Love, they always at the right like damn, you know, Aaron Rodgers still got some years in it, but you know what? It's time to make that change. Same thing they did with Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. I think next year they're gonna do that with Josh Allen.
Somebody to come in behind.
I think this draft they're gonna find a good quarterback that's kind of deep in the draft, and I think that's gonna be the person that replace Josh Allen next year.
Man, Josh Allen.
Before they start hitting that 56 to 60 million, because think about this. It skyrocketed this year to 47 million. What quarterback hits his last year contract besides Kirk Cousins and Mr. Prescott right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. It's gonna be a big mistake.
They ain't gonna let you hit that last year. They
better. It's gonna be a big mistake if you try to clean house and go get somebody besides Josh Allen is a player. Now, I see what you're saying. But Josh Allen is a player. He's a playmaker. And like I said, he's 85% of the offense. He's 85% of the offense. So you need a running back to help him out. You get him 3-4 receivers, which looks like what they're trying to do. You get him 3-4 receivers and a tight end. Help him out. He should be running the ball in the playoffs. Why you got him running the ball in the playoffs? Because he's the only one who can get yards. He's the man. He's the playmaker on the team. This is Dak is not doing it. Dak is not doing it. That's your problem. You looking at the few numbers once again. Dak is not doing. How dare you compare Josh Allen to Dak Prescott? And I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Josh Allen don't deserve it. That man does not deserve it. That man is a player, dog.
Only thing I can go off is the numbers and
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because as a football player, you know watching a player, watching what you see with your eyes, you get judged for that.
So I say this: who has more turnovers between the two?
At the worst time?
Yeah, anytime. Worst, good. Josh Allen got more turnovers.
Josh Allen throws interceptions. He will throw some. He will make some bad decisions. Nah, that's true. That's true. He will make some bad decisions.
And you want to pay this man $60 million, but you don't want to pay Prescott
because he's not going to do it at the worst time. He's not going to do it when you don't need it done. Now he'll do it. He'll do it when they up by 7 or second quarter, and he's trying to make a play. Right before half, or when he's trying to make a play, by himself. He'll try to force a ball in there. Now he will do that, and he's known to do that. But yeah, he's not going to go in the playoff game and throw 3 interceptions.
So let me say this, Mark. You play quarterback, and you played on the defensive side of the ball. When in any time, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, it's okay to throw an interception.
It's never okay.
And from a defensive perspective, you catch an interception, you go. What that does to your mentality? Oh, he's done. He's done. Oh, it's a wrap. Hey, he get back on the field. He's seeing, what would you say? He's seeing ghosts.
Yeah, but I know one thing as a defensive player. I know I'm gonna have a great day against that. Have a good day against that. Yeah. I can go out and party tonight before I play that. So I ain't gonna do that against Josh Allen. We going to the club tonight before we play that. It's section time. 10 bottles. We're gonna be all right. I'm not doing that against Josh Allen. Man. It's a difference, man. You know what I'm saying? What you see with your eyes is a difference, man. Yeah.
Hey, I'm
He,
just going off the numbers.
but see, what don't they say? Did he? Have you ever heard this before? You tell me this. Have you ever heard this before? Somebody say, did he pass the eye test?
Hey, man.
But what does that mean, though? What does that mean?
That's a Skip Bayless bull crap. I'm just going to say,
Right?
I'm
No,
going to say this. You know when you look for a new job, you got this thing called a resume.
Here you go.
And on the resume, what's on the resume? Your statistics, your numbers. I'm just telling you what the numbers is saying on the resume.
I've known people who lied on resumes and got jobs. So what are we saying here? I've seen people put extra zeros behind ones. That means nothing, man. That means nothing.
Oh,
So would you? So you saying you would pay that? That's what you telling me.
I don't pay neither one of them. I tell you this. I'll tell you this.
So what's your? So tell, but Josh Allen plays in your conference.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So is he not? Is he not a top notch? Is he not a top notch quarterback?
I don't lose no sleep on. We ain't worried about them.
Did y'all beat the Buffalo Bills every time y'all played them?
Not this past year, but not every year.
Right, I'm talking about this past year.
Yeah, nah. We beat them. So I'm gonna say this. What if they get, because there's a lot of quarterbacks this year too coming out. You know what I mean? What if Josh Allen, they project him to go into the first round, this quarterback out of Tennessee, Mulkey. What if they pick him up this year and groom him under Josh Allen so they don't have to get, because you already know the GMs, the NFL, we already talked about, they look at that salary cap throughout each year. That's why they keep restructuring people. Hey, let's restructure your contract. You know what I mean? They make it cap friendly so we can front load some money here, blah, 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 blah. I know they looking at that 56 million and they're like, this is the last year. We got to reach before this. So it's going to be 60 million. Now, what you're looking at now, who's your scary teams? Love out of Green Bay. CJ Stroud. You know what I mean? You what you getting is good quarterbacks that you can mold that's young for cheap and you can build around.
Ain't nothing wrong with it though.
Yeah.
Going the Green Bay route.
They remember I said I think Shadur Sanders gonna go to the Cowboys next year. I'm telling you, I think Josh Allen, he's on his last year right now, Buffalo. That's just thinking that.
He would be on his last year. If anything, I say he would have He gonna have 3 more years at least.
He ain't said 3 years of playing. I'm just saying I think.
No. That's what I'm saying. 3 more years in Buffalo at least. Because even if they take the route like you saying, he would still have to be groomed. That's at least 2 years. That's at least 2 years there. So there's nothing wrong with going the Green Bay route. With how Green Bay did going from Favre to Rodgers to Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Because when Aaron Rodgers stepped up, he was ready. So it's if you can do that, then that's great. So
I'm looking at this from when I seen that, I said, man, it's just kind of ironic because I already know if you look at all the reports, Buffalo Bills coach is on a warm seat, not a hot seat, on a warm seat. He's on a warm seat. And it's ironic that if it even get worse this year because you got rid of Stephon Diggs, that's a GM situation. But if you're not able to get them, I don't know if GM set him up, whatever. But
It could be.
I can say this: hey, I can see that if stuff start cleaning the house because you just let go of a lot of people. I don't see them paying $60 million.
I definitely say that
I
though.
see them going. I see them started going the Houston Texans route. All young bulls.
If they don't get better, if they
Draft.
let go, if they
Yep.
let go of all them people and they don't get better, he'll definitely be on the high seat. I mean, and at the end of the day, well, I mean, he does have something to do with the say so as far as like who gets cut.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if they lose all those key pieces and they get worse, he could be on the high seat.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
can see them getting a lot of young talent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that young talent, you get. I mean, you already know what really need to be paid for. If you got young talent, I mean, you look at the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young getting killed. He was getting killed this past year. They need to spend some money on the offensive line. They don't got to
Mm-hmm.
work. They got a rookie quarter. I mean, well, now he's on his second year, but you know what I mean. He's on a rookie contract, so we don't have to worry about paying $60 million because if you start getting a lot of veteran linemen, you know they cost. D linemen cost. Linebackers cost. Yeah, that if I get somebody that's young, oh yeah. So if you pay this man $60 million, just like with the Cowboys, Zach Prescott, you pay him. If they have to, I know they ain't doing it, but if they had to pay him $60 million, how you gonna keep Lamb? Now you got to pay because he gonna want $30 million. He gonna want Tyreek Hill money, so he gonna want that's $90 million you got tied up in two players. Michael
Mm-hmm.
Parsons he gonna want a bag. He gonna want probably 25, 30 million a year.
You gotta pay them. You got to pay them.
So really, it's gonna get down to you better start drafting well. That's why I don't believe in Jared Jones, and that's why I say I don't know what the situation going on with Buffalo Bills, but I think they're in a rebuilding mode.
They probably are. I believe it. They probably
Yeah.
are. Ain't no problem in it. They let go of all those key pieces, like I said, on defense, plus your star
You let go of
wide.
your two top wide receivers.
You're definitely rebuilding.
You let go of your top two wide receivers. So, all
Mm-hmm.
right, man. I'm gonna go to the last topic for tonight. Is Warren Sapp is finally at Colorado. You know, he had got his. It was a delay because he never graduated college, and to coach
Mm-hmm.
college football or college athletics, you got to have a degree. So he went back to school to finish up his degree, and then that was the only thing he was waiting on, and then got him on at Colorado. So he I seen the interview, whatever. He got some long title job. I mean, we know he's gonna be working with a D line, but like I guess the way they have to kind of structure you to go that path, it's like an analyst type of position. Yeah, it's some like type of whatever analyst type of position. But what's your feelings on that? Like how I think that's great, man. Because I mean, we all know Warren Sapp, bro. Like what he did on the D line, he teaches. You know what I mean? He used to go around just because he loved to do the game of football. So what's your
That's what's up. That's
um,
what's up. I'm proud of him. I'm glad. I'm glad he did that. He, got that degree so he can go ahead and take that next step to
yeah,
help their program. Elevate definitely in the trenches where they needed it.
boy,
On both sides of the ball. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I think that's going to be major. That's going to be
yeah.
major.
I'll tell you
He's
this,
going to
man.
be a great recruiting tool.
Yeah, I think, man. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for prime time, man, I don't think he would have. He wouldn't even went back to school to go get a degree. Then was start like I
Yeah,
think
he
he
know that.
know what he was doing. Like just go help out here and there. You know what I mean? But I don't think he would have if for only for like certain people he would have did it for. I was in prime, but
Yeah, we know that.
if he would have did, if he really wanted to do it, he would have probably been did it, and he'd been down in Miami and trying to fix that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's hands down. I think everybody know that. You know, it was definitely Prime who assisted in
Yeah,
that area. You know, definitely after Warren Sapp been to the program and helped them out. You know, coaching
yeah,
from the sideline, basically. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
so I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the last.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's why I was saying I don't even think he would have even went back to you because you know like to go back at school. I'm dealing with it now. You know what I mean. To go back to school after X amount of time, man. You ain't trying to do all that, man. It's like God, oh man, it's worse every year, man. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
man, he much older than us. So for him
Mm-hmm.
to just go back, I don't know if he had like he probably I mean
He probably had an online class.
yeah, but I think it's almost because he came out a year early, I think. But you know that was time for it, so it might have craved to like a year and a half of school he had to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think nobody else would have got him to do that, but prime time.
Yeah, I'm glad he did. Man.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really happy. I'm really waiting to see what's gonna happen with Colorado this year, bro. Especially the shifting in the conference, and I don't even know what their schedule is right now. To be honest with you, but I'm interested to see like how they gonna turn out, man.
Yeah, they gonna be good. Prime gonna hurt some people's hearts.
You think so?
Yeah, he gonna shock a lot of people. And I'm not gonna even necessarily say it's this year, but it's coming. It's definitely coming because I
Yeah,
know what he's trying to do and what he's putting together, and he
yeah,
just has to get the right pieces. So, what is this? His second year?
yeah. This gonna be his second year. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
his second year. It's gonna be his second year. Um, I mean, he already got a whole bunch of pieces, man. You know, and they would never, to be honest with you. And he, you know, you heard him say it a bunch of times that they wasn't. It wasn't the skill bats that they was hurting that. It was trenches. Because you know, when I was watching the games, man, like you and you know, it's normal what we see from the West Coast teams, that they throw the ball 50 to 70 times a game. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so we know that kind of like I guess you could say out normal. They but I was like, man, why they ain't balancing that? You know what I mean? Like why they not running the ball? And they had some running backs, but if your line ain't really doing nothing,
You can't do much.
yeah, and you gonna play them differently anyway. You like I ain't
Mm-hmm.
worried about that line, man. You know what I mean? Like, nah, we most scared of his arm, so we gonna go nickel
Right.
and your line weak, so we gonna send them about 3, 4 and somebody blitzing off the edge, and they would get into him.
Yeah. How many sacks did Shador take this year?
Boy, it was too many, boy. I ain't,
Exactly. Too
boy,
many. Too many to
boy.
even count.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man.
I'm just glad he okay.
I think the only way sometimes he was able to get out was because they was sliding the line some, bro. I mean, they could have. I think they should have schemed a little bit differently. Have somebody chipping somebody, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
some,
real for real.
yeah,
Straight
yeah,
QB waggle, though.
yeah,
Flare outs,
yeah,
stretch plays.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Oh,
real.
yeah, man, that was rough right there, bro. That was rough. But man, yeah, man, that. But we gonna you know we know who's gonna be in the championship games for the women's tomorrow, and then you got the men's on Monday. Uh, you think you could say South Carolina gonna pull it out for the women's?
Yeah, they'll pull it out. They got too much firepower for them. They'll
Yeah,
pull it out and win. Old Dawn Staley get her another ring.
yeah.
You know,
What
yeah.
you think about the men? What's your projection with the men's? Now that I think they're gonna be a little interesting. I think I say my mind telling me UConn, but my heart want to say Purdue.
Yeah, mind and heart say you can.
Why? Because more of the history and they've been there.
No, I mean it's how they play the game, and Coach Hurley, he's a great he's a great tactician. You feel me?
Yeah.
As far as how he schemes within the game and how he changes up,
Yeah.
it matches up on the floor.
Yeah.
They have scores all on the floor.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, you seen them.
Yeah.
UConn is a monster in itself.
Yeah.
So
Close game, overtime. What you think?
I think they'll win by 9.
By 9. Okay.
It'll be a decent game though.
Okay. Okay.
They'll pull it off and win by 9.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right,
So,
people. Hey, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Well, we're gonna come back on Tuesday tomorrow. That's what we're gonna do after the men's.
yeah.
Monday. We'll come back out and recap on that. But everyone, thank you for listening to this episode. Please like and share our YouTube. Please subscribe to it also. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. It's Down South Sports Roundtable. But we greatly appreciate it. And please
definitely do. Appreciate y'all for listening.
Yeah.
We'll continue to bring the news.
Yeah.
And topics of the day, the week, and the month. So stick with us.
We got NBA draft coming up. We got NFL draft coming up. So it's gonna be some, it's gonna be some very interesting time coming up too.
Yeah, and don't sleep on these UFL games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I can't wait to see Mel Kiper's jacked up list for the draft. Mel Kiper, boy, you think he working in it, man? That man throwing darts at a board when he.
Man said, "Who is Mel Kiper?" That's how he got his name. That's how he got his name from way back in the day. And they were they were interviewing one of the general owners of the team, and they asked him about Mel Kiper's list and why he didn't pick somebody. And he was like, "Who is Mel Kiper?" And that's how he got his name. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. All right. I want to say, hey, thank y'all for joining in, and we'll see y'all later.
Have a good one.